Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? This is Enrique Sanchez of Spanish United. Today we have a very special guest. Would you be kind enough to introduce yourself to the audience, Fred?
Hi, everyone. My name is Fred Chang. I immigrated to US when I was 13 from Taiwan, and I'm a father of three. It's 5, 3, and one. I'm raising it with my wife. I'm a finance professional, have more than 16 years in the finance industry. And
Welcome. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm running for the Alhambra Unified School District Board, District 5, which covers Rosemead, San Gabriel, and Monterey Park.
Awesome. Welcome for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Yes, I had spoken to Ken about, you're running for the school district, and, I had filled out a questionnaire about, what are the needs of the Hispanic students and Hispanic community in that area. I know that for the most part, San Gabriel, is majority Asian Chinese area, but you do have a good amount of Hispanic people left that are in that area. So one of the things that as a Hispanic leader and civic leader are my concerns is the welfare of the Hispanic community. And one of the main concerns that we have is in the areas of education and nutrition. I feel that in the case of many Hispanic students, they're not getting the proper nutrition at school, and also the proper education, because many of them don't have access to after school programs, to tutoring programs, primarily because many of them are low income. A lot of them have language barrier, meaning that they don't speak English as their first language, so they struggle more than other students. And many of them, they don't feel appreciated by their teachers because they feel that, they're not really serious students. So as being running for the school district of Alhambra, what can you do and what would you do to improve the plight and the situation of Hispanic students in terms of education and nutrition?
Okay. As far as for the nutrition, Alhambra's Unified School District have a program called Adventure, and it's a free after-school program that's offered for all kids. And for kids that has less privileged kids, they will have like the first, they will get to go first, and which is great. And that in in the after school program, there will be enrichment class. They can learn about coding, engineering, music, and art. And it's really good for the kids, and they can stay away from the street and be safe. And as far as for the nutrition, this year, California started to fully fund the breakfast and lunch for all students. But then as I see the breakfast and lunch my daughter showed me and brought home, I don't feel like it's very nutritious. There's a lot of processed food and not enough veggies. So if I'm elected, I will push to work with local grocery or farm, see if we can provide more vegetable and fruits to kids, or invest in the equipment for a salad bar so kids can eat more healthy in that sense.
Yeah, because I just feel that a lot of Hispanic students have gotten overweight, and primarily that has to do with their diet, and also with many of them that many of them are struggling financially at home, that they have to struggle getting proper nutrition at home. I think what the school can do in terms of alleviating that stress is to provide also better nutritious meal. Like, my recommendation is that if you are elected, try to make a partnership like with Whole Foods, with Trader Joe's, with Sprouts, where Many of them, they offer like nutritious food. Some of them are prepared, and that's a good way of changing the diet that's in the schools. And also, there are many students that are vegetarians that as well, so that you could provide vegetarian options for the students. So that will be another thing. And in terms of education, I believe there needs to be more bilingual tutors, primarily Spanish speaking. And I believe there needs to be um, what do you call that? Tutoring centers that also teach in Spanish. Like one of the things that I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to start a community center, Spanish community center, where students can also go and learn important skills in terms of language, in terms of academics, and also vocational skills. So that way they can learn a trade at the same time while they're learning at the same time. Because I feel that many Hispanic students tend to be ostracized or neglected, and I think it's important that you running as the fifth district, that we can be inclusive of all people, because I think that will be better for the community. At the same time, will prevent racial tension, and promote harmonious relations between both groups.
Yeah, what you just talked about, those are like great ideas. When I'm elected, I'll definitely work hard to try to get a partnership with Whole Food and Sprout Local Farm grocery store to get more nutritious food. And also to go back to on your point of hiring more bilingual teachers, whether it's Spanish, English, Spanish, Chinese. I think if we have the qualified teachers, they're all the same, but one can speak like another language, we should definitely hire the one that's bilingual, trilingual, so that can like reduce the communication barriers, or Hispanic or the new immigrants from Asia, the parents, they can be more, because a lot of times like they don't speak up, or they're not as involved in school because they can't speak fluent English. So I think that's really important. District and school, they need to do a better job reaching out to those parents. And that's how we make our schools better. So kids will do better in school. Parents are more.
Yes, and I also wanted to ask, how do you feel that you will be able to bring Hispanic parents to have them more involved with the school board and the school system? As you know, many Hispanic parents work 3 or 4 jobs and don't have time to really do much of anything. So, like, how can we get Hispanic parents to be more involved in their children's education, in terms of having them, do their homework and having them being more involved in school?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I believe the first step is when I drop my daughter off at school, I need to make a effort to try to know more parents, especially the Hispanic families, and be friends with them and talk about the issues, uh, education, so it's important for their family and my family. So just by becoming friends and tell them about all the resources or other things that we have, then they can be more involved. If they can go to school, then we can have a Zoom call or other things, or even a play day on the weekend at a park, and we can talk about kids' education and all those things.
And you being from the San Gabriel Valley, and being part of the Asian Chinese community, do you see like a disparity in terms of quality of life and income between Asian and Hispanic people?
I don't know like the whole numbers, but then I do believe there is a gap in income, and also like many of the Asian parents, like they education is like the thing that they value the most. So they will actually make sure like kids do their homework and things like that, and even get private tutors to help out academically. That's why some of like the Asian kids do well in schools. And yeah, that's my thoughts. Yeah.
And how do you believe we can raise the standards of income, so that way the Hispanic population could, be at the same level of Asians? How would you come about that?
Yeah, I believe the only way we can do it is through education, because so by if I'm elected, I'm gonna try to look for more state or federal funding, work with like the congressman or state assembly, or to see if there's any grants that can help that we can get, and get more after school programs. So to serve the Hispanic community, if the kids needs help with their work after school, then they can have access to that, and just make sure that they get the education they needed. And also, I think in the high school level, we should always have like those mentorship workshop or seminars, so they have somebody to look up to, and make sure they are ready for post high school, whether they want to go to college or they can go to vocational schools, which is great too. So just have to make sure they're ready for it.
Yeah, and that's something that I feel that it's lacking, that many high schools today have converted from being academic institutions to being just places where it's become more vocational, and it's not even vocational. It seems that the standards of the schools have gotten less and less, and I feel that it's setting a lot of the students for failure. Like, I was in the school system many years ago, and I just feel that many teachers, they don't really care about the students. All they care about is graduating them or just having them pass. But they're not getting the education, and also the tools that they need to have a better life and to have a successful life. And I feel a lot of it has to do with the standards that have gotten very low. And I see this a lot with Hispanic schools, Hispanic communities, and I feel that it makes the Hispanics look bad, it makes the community looks bad, and it further creates more Hispanophobia and stereotypes. So I feel that both communities, both the Asian community and Hispanic community, need to work on a common consensus, so that way they could mutually benefit. At the same time, they could form a partnership, because both groups are immigrants. Maybe one group has been here longer than the other, but both are immigrant groups, and both have ways of contributing to the country and also to each other, but only if both groups are willing to learn from each other. So I think it's very important that if we have more integration between both groups, I think it would be beneficial for everyone in the long run.
Yeah, I agree with the standard. I don't believe like lower the standard so people can graduate from high school is a good thing for the kids. Like we actually should spend more resources on kids who are not doing as well, and just find out why they are not doing well, and to help them. And you talk about like the integration, because it's interesting how the North Slope Elementary School, which my daughter is going, is half of them is in the dual immersion program, which is Mandarin and English, and half is just like the regular school kids. So yeah, and us parents were asking about why like sometimes they have different recess time and lunch time. They were using COVID as an excuse. They didn't want to have everybody all be out at the same time or play together, but feel like kids are kids. They should be like integrated. They should be play with their friends. They're all in the same same school. They should do everything together. So that's part of it. And also that a few parents and we are trying to be more active in the PTA, the Parent Teacher Association. We're trying to do more fundraising. If we get those resources, then we're gonna offer more classes or after school program, and that's gonna be accessible to all kids. So I think that will help as well, homework and all those things for the Hispanic community.
I
Like
think,
the kids can have a parents at home can like help them, like they can stay a couple hours after school and play and do their homework. Someone like supervising the helping them.
yeah, I think another thing that I think would be beneficial if the Asian community could teach Chinese to the Hispanic community. I think that would be very, very good because it could create business and cultural links between both communities. And I think also the Chinese community should know Spanish. So I think if both learn each other's languages, I think they could, work together in terms of investment, in terms of dialogue and better engagement, because the Asian community has the capital while the Hispanic community has the manpower. So I feel if both of them work together, I think they could do a lot of amazing things. I've always advocated for Hispanic community to learn Chinese because I think Chinese is the third spoken language in the United States after English and Spanish. And I feel that if they know Chinese, I think it could open a door of opportunity, for many fields in terms of business, in terms of economics, academics, cultural links, etc. So I always encourage my community to learn another language because the more you know, the more you earn.
I agree. Like, I definitely wanted my daughter to pick up Spanish as well, because in California, I would say at least 30%, if not 40%, speak Spanish. Like, it would be really useful, helpful in terms of anything they do in school, in their career, everything. So that one of my biggest regret is not by learning Spanish well when I was in high school, because I was already fluent in Chinese, so I didn't have to take another language. But thinking back, I should have just uh, learned Spanish and fluent, and I'll be like so much better shape and be able to talk to most people.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Anyway, I wanted to tell you thank you so much for being on the show, Fred. I truly appreciate it. As soon as I'm done, I will send you the link and you could share it to all of your friends. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Enrique, for having me. And once I'm elected and I would like to come back on again and tell you that what kind of progress I have made, or if you have any feedbacks or suggestions, your opinion and our listeners' opinion are like really valued. I wanted to raise the whole community. It's Asian, Hispanic, white, Black. It doesn't matter. Everybody needs to get better. And
I agree with you. Have yourself a wonderful day, Fred. Take care.
you too. Thank you.
Bye bye.